Hey guys, happy holidays. Check it out. It is the Mavic 3. Now, if you've seen my unboxing and flight test and range test actually, go ahead, or if you haven't, go ahead and check out the link. It'll pop up here on the top right. Also be down below in the description, as well as the items I'm testing today and all my gear. But today is going to be, DJI finally updated the ActiveTrack to be working on this thing. So we should be up at ActiveTrack 5.0 now. And remember, in all those other videos I put out with this thing, they didn't have that software updated. So I just did the update. My daughter Sanaya, she's up there riding a skateboard. I'm gonna get this thing up in the air and we're gonna start tracking her. We're also gonna do those other things like time lapse and try a few of those things, see if all that's working and all the stuff that wasn't working before. So anyway, let's get started with the Mavic 3 ActiveTrack and more advanced features flight test. So let's start recording, get this thing lifted off here. So we'll just do a kind of a normal on-screen launch, just kind of holding launch, and then we'll let it go. That thing will start up. That time I didn't really open the propellers, so I kind of forgot, but you may want to do that. So anyway guys, there it is. If you haven't seen the Mavic 3 yet, it's pretty amazing looking drone. So I think what I'll do is, I'm just in regular, I have all of the sensors on and stuff. I'm gonna just kind of go up real quick, about 30 feet, so it can kind of track its home point. We'll do a return to home test. And I'm gonna fly over to Sanaya. So she should be waiting over here at the bottom of the hill. I'm just giving her the thumbs up to start. Okay, I'm tracking her now. And it should already be tracking her. Let's go ActiveTrack here. Go. Okay, just had to kind of press go to kind of catch up with her. So it's gonna track her. You can see how the reticle is kind of like getting off of her, but wow, it just flew right up next to her. And remember, I have all the obstacle avoidance on and it's in normal mode. So it's just gonna do kind of a behind her track. And we're gonna see how it avoids all these trees. I'm not gonna be touching any buttons or anything. So this was one of the features, remember, that was missing on all my other reviews. So we'll go ahead and see how it deals with these trees. Let's see what it does here. Very good. So it's good so far, getting in the shade. Let's see how it deals with this. We got some wires over there on the left, some branches and stuff. Awesome. So far so good. So she's just gonna ride around for a bit. Turn off my cam, save some power here. Trying out the new DJI Action Cam 2. All right, so I haven't touched it since I started tracking her, and so far so good with these, kind of slower tracking, even in the shade and stuff. Let's kind of see how it deals with this. And I think on the way back when it opens up, we'll do a point of interest. You see over on the right, it says POI. So once it kind of, it's automatically going to its right. Interesting, it sees her turning around. Okay, so go ahead, Sanaya. Here she goes. She's gonna try again. Remember, I tried to track my son on my flight test when the ActiveTrack wasn't working, and I just basically was tracking him manually. But here we go. So trees all around. It's keeping under the canopy because remember, it has those upward sensors also on the Mavic 3. So it's got 360-degree sensors. So far so good. Let's try a POI while she's going. Maybe I'll wait till it gets past this tree here. It's definitely not a school day, it's a Saturday, so There's not going to be anybody in school. And let's just see what happens if we're at this height and we start a POI. I'm going to click on POI, and I'm going to tap right when she goes to the left here. I'm going to tap start. There we go. So we'll just go slow, go. It's going to go to the right and slowly. And let's see how it deals with this. It's going to be kind of interesting. So it's trying to keep up with her. Maybe I'll speed it up a little bit, go to about halfway. Cool, so it's trying to keep up with her, and let's see how it deals with this tree. Whoa, don't fall down, Sanaya. All right, POI working. Let's see, was it gonna hit this tree while she's resetting her board? Cool, you could see on the iPad screen it detected the tree and it's definitely avoiding it. And now it's still doing POI and following her. You know, it's kind of close, but it's keeping a reasonable distance so she's not going to crash into it. So far that's great. I'm just trying to gesture her to go back up. So you can see what I'm doing with my sticks here. I'm just going to go up. So I'm pushing up and the drone's going up, and I'm going to pull back a little bit. And let's see how it deals with these trees while it's kind of tracking her. Awesome. So you saw it lose her there real quick. It's looking at the ground and everything to make sure that, whoa, hopefully it doesn't run into those trees. Excellent. And it's still trying to orbit her slowly. Let's see what it's going to do. Okay, so it totally lost track. Come on. Oh, so I got to manually take over again. Okay. So let me manually take over, get back to where she's at. So that was a little bit of a failure. Let's go POI again. Let's go the other way. And let's see what it does. Go. Okay. Let's see how it deals with this. Whoa, it just went over those power lines. That was awesome. So remember, we have a POI to the left now. And it lost track. So not as good as something like the, remember the Skydio, right? So let's do ActiveTrack again. And let's try to do it from her left. Let's go. Can we adjust it? If I pressed go, I'm not sure if I can readjust again. Yeah, there we go. Let's try to click on left. Okay, cool. Well, at least you can kind of do, let's see how it does with the left side. And remember, it's going to be in these trees a little bit. See how it deals with this. Okay, so point of interest. Failure in a little bit of tight situations. So that's something you're going to have to be careful of, but it won't hit the objects. It just kind of stops because it can't see when she passed through them. So let's see how she does that again, coming down, and so you see this little thing above the stop button? If I click on that, I can choose whatever I want. So there's a little icon in the middle, and if I slide it, there's also like a compass for parallel. So I can do these two options, and I can click on it and choose, let's try a front follow on her. So I would not use the POI in under canopy situations like this, probably only over canopy. And this is doing it on its own. It's kind of like shaking back and forth a little bit. Let me try to go a little bit farther back if we can. A little bit farther back and up, just a little bit. So we can get more of a cinematic shot. Well, that's kind of as far back as I can go. So not that great. I mean, when it sees obstacles, yikes, it looks like it's trying to slow down. It just about lost track of her because it was into that tree and it stopped for some reason. But did you see what it did? It automatically pitched down and tried to keep tracking her. So that's pretty dang awesome. Now it's going to try to get ahead of her again, but it's having difficulty. You see this, what it's doing? It's not able to really quickly get in front, kind of like the Skydio sports drone would do. There we go. It didn't like that tree behind it up there, probably. So let's try to go up and back. I'm full throttle up and back, and it just doesn't want to really give me that ability to go up and back. So apparently it's more kind of locked at this distance, it seems. Let's see if we can try that since it's totally opened up. Yeah, I'm pushing full throttle up. There we go. And let's go back. Okay, I can't go any farther back, so a little bit of a limitation. Let's see what we want to do now. Let's see if it can keep tracking her at this height. Can't go any farther back, but let's just see if it can stick with this height and go around in front of her. So a little bit of a limitation. You see this? As it gets farther away, it's losing its imagery sensor. So that's why they're not allowing me to go back and farther away, you know what I mean? It just has that limitation where since there's no GPS on her, like remember the Skydio has that GPS, what is that thing called? That little dongle you kind of put on whatever you want to track. If it loses visual, it will track with the GPS point, but this can't do that. It just needs to have visual. So that's why it's limiting me not to get farther away than this on tracking. So I have it set to be in front of her, but as you can see, is it gonna keep on her? Okay, that's better than usual for DJI. They're kind of tweaking the algorithm on the tracking, so it's kind of, did you see it? When it lost her, it was still floating to the left a little to anticipate her speed and where she was going to come out. So that worked great. It seems like they've improved that. I don't want to speak too soon, but you see how it keeps going back, anticipating that she's going to come out. And let's see if it can keep tracking her. Oh, she doesn't want to keep going up the hill. Okay. So she just got off, so it's kind of waiting for her. So you're going to have those limitations, like if it's under canopy, and if it's just waiting, it just doesn't know what to do, you know what I mean? So now I got to go up and see where she's at. Maybe I'll go a little bit to the right. She's gone. Oh, there she is. I was totally lagging there. Okay, let's try this again. So I need to go down and get on her. So another point of interest. Oh, it lost her again, so I need to, boy, okay. Yeah, so not as easy as I thought it would be, but kind of reasonable for point of interest. Let's go to the left as fast as it can. Subject lost. Okay, so you're not going to have any far away stuff with this. Okay, guys. Come on, keep up with her. Yep. So you see this? When it's already in motion, it's having a very hard time to retrack. So let's just kind of do maybe a POI here on her. Point of interest. Let's go fast to the left and go. So you're going to have to do this stuff before the subject really starts going. Otherwise, you're going to have all kinds of problems, like I was just kind of gaining the track. Let's go back and up. So it seems like when the subject's not really moving, it can track it a little farther away. But you see how if I go any back or farther up, watch it kind of start to lose the subject. And then you see how it kind of goes into GPS mode. So you're not going to be able to track stuff from very far away, guys. See how it's kind of messing up and going over there. There it goes. So the image is just, the software on the camera is going off and on of its algorithm to detect humans, and that's the problem it's having. So anyway, there's the POI. Pretty cool. Go one more time, and I'll just try to track her from this height. We'll just start at this height here. Okay, guys? And we'll see how it does with her. And we're just gonna do the trace where it's just gonna follow her from behind. And you can see how it's already having a little bit of trouble with the imaging to track her. Whenever you hear that, see that little icon change into like a GPS point on the map, that's when it's losing its imagery on her and it's trying to anticipate. So let's see if I'm tracing her. Let me see if I can move the quad to the left and right. There we go. So I got my right stick and I just pushed it to the left. So if you look at my finger here, I'm going to push to the left. And so you can do this while it's doing a trace on her, at least, or on objects. Let's see how it deals with this. This might be kind of tough. I like how it goes into that anticipation mode. Oh, it didn't catch her over there. I have to fly forward quick. Did you see her come out of the trees? And it's totally shut everything off. So this is gonna be hard to retrack. Let's see, quick. Yeah, see this? I'm trying to draw a box around her and that box is sticking there. I gotta quickly figure out where she's at. Let me see if I just tap on her. Oh man, yeah, so we're finding the issues with this for sure, and that's what you're gonna find in my videos. But at least we know we're not gonna hit any even power lines or tree branches. This thing seems to be very good at not hitting those. So here we go, let's try ActiveTrack again. Shucks, I can't see her through these branches. Ah. So you see this? It doesn't understand what to do because she's kind of under those branches. So this is where you need to kind of manually take over and just like really quickly resituate. You see that over there? It's stuck to the left. It's not letting me move. So I have to press the X on that and then just try to quickly track her. Dang it. Yeah. Not as easy as I would have hoped, guys. So again, moving objects. Maybe she'll stop for a second. She's not stopping. So I'm just kind of manually doing this now because the ActiveTrack had totally shut off. Again, objects in motion are already going to be very hard to start a track on them. And then of course it's not going to be nearly as smooth if you're trying to track somebody. Try this real quick. Yeah, see, I couldn't even capture her on that slow turn. It's just not fast enough to get her. So I'm just manually doing this. Let me try again. Putting a box around her. Oh, okay, got her that time. Let's try. Nope. See how I'm hitting that and it just doesn't know what to do because it can't identify a human when it's moving and you try to trace a box around it. Let's try again. Boom. It's almost like it wants to, but it just doesn't let you because the box is too big and it doesn't see it's a human. So anyway, finding the cons on the ActiveTrack, maybe they can improve that. I'm gonna have her just kind of walk over and you'll see what I mean. So I have her there. See how when she stopped, it kind of knows, nope, unable to switch, only supports people. So it doesn't even know she's a person right now. So that kind of sucks. I gotta go like really close here. There, okay, when you see that little box, then you know what I mean? That it is a person. Go. We'll just do one more POI while she's walking back. She's just using the skateboard as like a remote control car across the field there. So at least you can do point of interest on people and cars. You know what I mean? So it's going to detect cars and people. But it looks like anything else, you're just going to have to kind of manually track. So you wouldn't be able to like track a drone or anything else. It should see a bike rider, stuff like that. That was a really good test because, woo, there he goes. Hey, thanks for helping on that. That was super awesome. You didn't fall at all, that's good.
I kind of got like speed wobbles.
Speed wobbles? Yeah, you kind of went into the grass, but that's okay. You haven't ridden in a long time. Oh, careful. And look, guys, check out the map here while it's just kind of orbiting Sanaya and I. So it's kind of cool. You can bring in your map and you can see the whole route where you've gone. So we followed her like 2 or 3 times doing that route. We basically tried most of the ActiveTrack features, and you know, you saw how it really performed. I think what I want to do now, Sanaya, is I want to kind of just track you running. So if you want to turn that thing off, we'll just kind of do some running, kind of like what I do with Kian, jogging, walking in the field. And let's see just how good it is at, you know, just really tracking her while that stuff's happening. I want to see how low we can really track on this orbit. So I'm just pulling all the way down. That's as low as it wants. It's allowing me to go, which is about, what? It thinks it's -7 feet, but that is not negative point. That's not 0 feet. You see that? So I don't know why DJI still has that problem, but you can see that thing is about 5 feet off the ground. And let's see what this does. So this is parallel. Let's go ahead and press go on it. So why don't you get up, Sanaya, and then just start jogging to that goal over there and come back, okay? Let's see how it deals with the parallel. Go for it, just jog. And then when you come back, just sprint, okay? So this is parallel, guys. You put it anywhere in the sky and then it will just follow them at that specific point. Sprint. Okay, DJI is getting better at keeping up with objects. Whoops, she lost a shoe. That's okay. Awesome, Sanaya. That was great. So that is the parallel if you want to get like sports or somebody jogging or riding a bike or something. And then let's click on POI again. I want to do that same thing while I'm doing kind of like a medium fast POI, maybe a fast POI. Let's just see what happens. So it's going to go pretty dang fast. And remember, all these obstacle avoidance and everything is in check. Do that same thing again, Sanaya. How you did a jog and then sprinted back. So I'm not touching anything, guys. This is what it's doing. I'm not touching the controller whatsoever. Nice. As far as I can see, they've improved the algorithm, the AI, to anticipate things. So here's what you can do now, Sanaya. How about this? So go this way. When you get to the other side of the field, just jog. When you get to the other side, turn this way and just immediately sprint. Like, don't even wait. Just go like this and then sprint back as fast as you can, okay? So just go slow so you don't run out of breath. And then when you get to the hill, turn as fast as you can. Let's see if we can lose the drone. You take your shoes off, all right? Here we go, guys. Get ready. So go ahead, just jog and then sprint back as fast as you can, turn. So this is an orbit, remember? We're in the fastest orbit to the right. Let's see if it loses track. It's also going to try to avoid that hill. Oh, it stopped the POI. Okay. It didn't want to continue. I had to keep it continuing. But it's not losing her. I just restarted it there when she was coming back. So it is trying to keep up with her. That's good. So they've improved that. I'm satisfied with that. They've totally improved the algorithm to track things. It still stops once in a while, so they still have some stuff to work on. It's not going to be substituting for a, you know, a Skydio 2, which has that beacon is what the word I was trying to say. Beacon is that little thing that it comes with. So you know, that's the kind of ActiveTrack you can do. So I like this little wheel here where you can choose front, you know, you click on it, front, back. You can also go at these angles too, kind of like you can with the Skydio. Or you can just swipe it over and do the parallel. So that seems to be pretty much it. You have regular ActiveTrack, which follows from behind. Or, you know, when you click these things, you have 360 angles there. Or you can do parallel, you know, so whatever angle it is, I'm clicking on parallel again, and it's not allowing me to choose those angles, you know what I mean? So it looks like it's just going to start paralleling when it sets. So you have to make sure you're at the area to parallel before you start parallel. POI, you can just click on that, whatever you're doing, and you can just go for it. And it just starts POI. So those are like the 3 things you can do in ActiveTrack. Working better, but not as good as I expected them to do. And it's, you know, it's middle of the day. It's a nice sunny day today, so there's really no excuse except for shadows and obstacles. And it did better, but not the best. Okay, I'm gonna stop this, guys, and I think we're done. Sanaya, high five for helping me. We're gonna go into some of these other features. Thanks so much. So we're gonna stop the ActiveTrack. I'm just pressing the X on the screen. We're gonna go up here, guys, and we wanna do some of these other features, remember? We wanna try like the wide angle camera and stuff like that. So, well, we got a nice view here. Look at this, it finally rained on Maui. Isn't that awesome? Wow, we used that much battery already? We only have 17% left. It wants me to return to home. So it's not gonna stop beeping. You know what I'm gonna do? I have another battery in my bag. I'm gonna fly out here. We'll do a return to home right now. I'm gonna pop in one more battery and let's do those other features, which, you know, are like the time lapse and all that stuff that they supposedly have enabled. So just clicking on the screen here, pushing and holding on return to home. Let's have her come back. See how close it lands to, remember, the home point right here. So with this one, remember, coming home, you can move the camera up and down. Go ahead and move it down, see what it does here. It's adjusting itself to get in the position it was when it took off. Let's see how good it is at centering in on that H there. It should automatically pick the camera up in just a second. Yeah, so it does that on its own just to protect the camera. And since we're not around it, it looks like it's gonna land as accurate as possible. Nice. So that was using those bottom cameras, guys, to like look at the launch pad. As long as you launch up and just kind of wait there and then go up about 30 feet, what it does is the computer on board looks at the image and it kind of like remembers where it landed. Like it like looks at objects. In this case, it's the landing pad. But if there was some rocks or even this bag around and there was no landing pad, it would take that image and try to figure out where it was and land as close as possible as it think it launched from. But as you can see, it kind of reoriented itself to north, like where I launched from. So it redid the compass there, and it looks like it landed a couple inches away. So close enough for me to be satisfied with that. Swapping another battery, let's get it back up and let's try those other things like time lapse and all that stuff, wide angle shots, which weren't active on my last flight test, and see how those do. And then we'll wrap it up with the pros and cons. I'm just using the internal storage. It switched over from that 32 gig card I had in there to the internal storage. You can see it up there up on the screen. So that's actually 8 gigabytes. Sorry, I think I said it was 10, but it seems like it's 8. And let's launch this one from like a manual launch. So both sticks down and in. Yes, propellers are on correctly. Spin that sucker up and we'll just launch up. We'll also, you know, do another return to home. So we'll go ahead and get up there about 30 feet. Let it sit there for a sec. And while I'm here, let's turn to the West Maui Mountains there. Go up a little higher so it's kind of out of audible range. It's a little bit easier on the ears here. Let's see what we got. So remember we're in video recording mode right now. I'm just going to press this top right film clip. And we want to go into these settings. Now none of these things were working here on the right side here. I'm moving up and down. None of this was working. Pano, Hyperlapse, Quick Shots, or Mastershots. So let's go ahead and try a couple of these really quick. First of all, we'll do, since we're up here high in the sky, let's do a pano. So I'm clicking on pano here. Oh, that's still not working. Okay. Sorry, there's still some stuff they gotta do. Let's try hyperlapse. Okay, hyperlapse is working. So you can see all these things that you can do. It's basically what it is. They're giving you a little example of what it does. So you just click on things to track them. And it's kind of like doing, it's called a hyperlapse, but it's kind of like a moving time lapse is what this thing is. So you can do waypoints, you know what I mean? I'll just let you like look at these for a little bit. And you can see how it's going to different waypoints while it's kind of doing this hyperlapse or time lapse. So we saw that, we saw the course lock. There's a circle. So it's basically a point of interest, and then it just does like a hyperlapse circle, which is basically like a moving time lapse is all that means. So kind of cool for getting the effect of, you know, like a fast moving time lapse while it's moving. And then there's also the free up here as well. So all that does is it lets you move the sticks how you want while it's doing that hyperlapse or time lapse. So you can see what they're doing here is they're just slowly moving it with their own fingers, right? That might be kind of cool. Let's do like a course lock to the mountain. So there we go. If I just close this up here and then I can click down here on the course lock on the very bottom, it gives me some more options. Unlocked interval 2 seconds, length 5-second video, and at a speed. So you can see how you can adjust all these things. I'm clicking on it and I'm sliding here. So the max you can go, it looks like, is, let's see how fast we can go. 6.7 miles per hour, check. I'm just going to do a quick 5-second video because I just want to try this real quick, but you can change that all the way up to 30-second video, okay guys? But just remember, it's going to take a while to get that long of a video. And so it's going to be up in the sky for a long time to get that. Then you can adjust your interval from 2 seconds all the way up to 15 seconds between pictures. So I'm going to leave it at 2. On the bottom left, unlock, and now it's locked. So you're just pointing the drone in the direction you want, and you see how you can unlock or lock. So I want to have it going in that direction. I'm going to have the camera up a little bit so we can get these clouds. And I'm going to go ahead and just press picture, take a picture to start. There we go. So as soon as I pressed that right hand photo, it started this whole process where it's flying in that direction lock I had. And it's going to take a photo every 2 seconds. And it's going to get, you see there on the bottom middle of the screen, it's saying it's got 3 minutes and 45 seconds left. And it has taken 13 shots out of 125 shots. So I'll be having this pop up on the screen when this thing is done. So this will be kind of interesting. Let's see how this bugger finishes and comes back. It should just kind of come back in a straight line. Okay guys, just wrapping it up here. We're at 120 pictures of 125 that it does want to do. So let's see what it does. I still have a great live view. Just remember, I have that forward direction lock, so it's going way the heck out there. It's done. It's creating the video. So look at that over on the right-hand side. It's compiling all those pictures right now. You see that little white thing going around the record button? White thing's done. Everything's done. Let's see what this thing does. Guess what? It's just sitting out there. So I'm going to come home now. I'm just holding in the return to home button. So keep that in mind. It will just sit out there after it's done with its hyperlapse. Here we go. I'm going to cancel return to home, just pressing that on the screen, that little red reticle over there on the left side. Now I have manual control again. So I'll have had that hyperlapse up. That's kind of what you can expect. Might have been cool with those clouds flying out, kind of a time-lapse moving thing. Now let's go ahead and go into this little icon again. And remember, we can't do pano. Let's try quick shots. Feature coming soon. Okay, man, I thought all these were active. Apparently not. Let's try Mastershots. Clicking on it. There we go. So, based on the subject and distance, the aircraft will automatically shoot a number of clips. So it's weird how quick shots isn't working, but this master shot is, because what master shots is, it's a compilation of quick shots. So anyway, okay, fine. Closing that. And let's just do it on us here. You can see we already have reticles on us. I'm just going to click on me and subject area and flight route. Interesting. Set flight perimeters. Okay, same kind of thing. We can press down here and you can see that this thing pops up, or actually pops down when we touch it. Everything is medium, length, medium, check, height, medium, check. You can do small, medium, or large apparently. And width. So that's like as far away from you. So you see these little things that can move left or right. We'll just leave it all on medium for this test. And start point, I can click on it. Automatically adjust master shots. Okay, current location or start point. Interesting. So you have those two as well. So if it's current location, you can just go ahead and move the drone around. See, I'm pulling back a little bit. And then you can just press start. So let's just try current location start here and just see what it does, all right? Maybe we'll go a little bit closer first. So there we are. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Let's try the master shot. Doom. So I just press start, doing a 3, 2, 1. And there we go. It just plopped a GPS point on this thing. So say you're with your family and you're on a vacation and you want to get these types of videos. You see what it's doing? It's telling us on the bottom, doing a circle medium right now. So it seems like it kind of stopped tracking me, right? Because that I chose the fixed position. So perhaps if we do master shots on the adjusting position, it may be able to do track humans. Maybe we'll try that real quick since we still have 20 minutes of flight time on this. Doing a droney now. So you see how the master shots just cycles through the quick shots. So that's interesting to me that those are not working yet. Very interesting. Now it's doing a circle far. So this is a great feature where, you know, you just want to get all these shots of a subject, whether it be you and your family. Pitch up and fly forward. Okay, interesting. So it's going to pitch it up and it's automatically coming close to us. Cool. Rocket up. So it's doing a rocket right now. So all these things, guys, that it's doing are the quick shots and then some. Camera down circle. So it's circling up like a rocket, kind of like a rocket, twisting rocket. So, you know, you don't know how to control your drone to do things manually, use this kind of stuff. Straight down, descend. I think this might be the last one. Let's see. Oh, down, descend. So if you want to cancel, you can always press that X, but it looks like this is it. And it's done. So the drone is going back to its initial position, and it's did that all automatically, and it's turning around just where it started. And then check that out. It's showing you a little video clip over there of what it just did. So I'll have that up on the video too. Let's try this auto location. Auto adjust master shots. Let's see what this does real quick. I'm gonna hit it and see if maybe I can move around or something. No. So it's still logging that point. Okay. Still doing the same thing. So I'm not really sure what that's trying to do. Unless I can move the drone's head. So that just cut out the whole thing. If you touch the sticks, it just cuts out. So, you know, not entirely explained right there and what that does. But anyway, moving on, guys. I think we have enough there. Quick shots doesn't work. Again, unfortunate. So that's it. Pano didn't work. Quick shots didn't work, but hyperlapse did. We did a good hyperlapse on there. And remember, you can do all those things. And then, yeah, and then you have the Mastershots. If you want that tutorial to come up again, just press that question mark at the top right. And it shows you kind of like an example of what it's going to do. So I think that's really it, man. I'm going to X out of here. You just have to go back to like photo or whatever, clicking on photo. And then that kind of got it out of Mastershots. So I think I took some photos when I was doing the flight test, but it was super dry. So I'm going to take a couple more photos just to wrap this thing up. And then we're going to do a return to home. Let's just get out here a bit. And let's just take a couple of nice photos while we have a nice green Maui now. So I believe I'm in, yep, so you can do JPEG, RAW, JRAW. So let's just take a couple of shots here. Yeah, it's in widescreen. Looking a lot better with these photos versus that first flight test. Let's go ahead and get a downward shot. Right here, nice shot there. Always click in the center of the screen if you want to refocus and re-expose. Of course, this is all auto mode, guys, but you can do manual mode, remember. Let's do a just a shot of the ground here, making sure we're not over a house. So just so you guys can kind of see what this all looks like. So I'm going to get up to the max height I can, which should be just under 400. I'm going to hit return to home again. And when it's over the top of us, I am going to take a couple more shots so we can kind of see how it is with this downward type of view here. Okay, so I'm just, whoops, I took a photo when it was already twisting. Taking some photos so you can get that downward view while it's moving. And let's just see how close it is on this time. This is going to be the second return to home in this advanced features video. Let's see if this is even closer. At about 10 feet, 8 to 10 feet, it starts going really slow. Height is off. I don't know why DJI has that problem. It thinks it's -4 feet right now. You'd think that the downward sensors, which can tell the elevation of how far it is from the ground, would be correcting that. We're at 32% power. So as you can see, this thing flies for a really long time. Let's talk about the tracking where we track Sanaya a little bit. Remember that, Sanaya? I mean, a little better, but still just not as good as something like the Skydio, where you have that tracking beacon that the thing or person you're trying to track can hold on to it. And if it does lose image recognition on the Skydio, it will switch to GPS, get back to the subject location, and then retrack with its camera. This can't do that. Once it loses its image of the subject with the imagery tracking, the AI tracking, it'll just sit there. So still a little bit to be desired. It looks like DJI is making it better, but man, they just got to catch up to Skydio on these action tracking things that will just stop and kind of ruin your day if you're trying to track a subject and you can't retrack. Remember that? I couldn't retrack her while she was moving. So unless you can contact the subject, like you call them on the cell phone or you have a radio, they're going to just keep going, and there's no way that you can ActiveTrack them by drawing a box when they're already moving. So we figured out that that was a big flaw in the ActiveTrack, and I hope they can work on that. Or DJI, if you're listening, have a little add-on beacon, man, just like Skydio does. Let us start that thing up, get some GPS lock on it, give it to whoever we're tracking. They can put it in their pocket, their backpack, or just hold it, and it'll definitely be a lot better tracking because it'll switch to the GPS location of the subject. And then it seems like they're getting better with their algorithm on slightly moving, anticipating where the person or thing is going, and then retracking. As long as it's kind of near the center of the screen, it seems to be okay. But if they had that beacon, man, I just don't know why DJI doesn't have a beacon yet. So if you're listening, get that beacon going. Anyway, guys, tonight, thanks for helping again. We're gonna wrap this one up, and I will see you in the next video. Probably gonna do more of a cinematic ocean shoreline Hawaii flight with this. One more video on that, and got a lot more videos coming with other drones too. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Laters!